Greetings, my name is Danielle Palli, and I'm a nationally board certified positive psychology and mindfulness coach with advanced certifications in relationship coaching, MBTI personality types, and emotional intelligence training. Now, I've been happily married for a long time. Back in the day, we both were open about the fact that we met using online dating. Fast forward to today, and I talk with many people who are single or newly single after a divorce or ending a long-term relationship. They're back on the dating scene for weeks, for months, and we talk about some of the red flags and things to be cautious about, how to set healthy boundaries, and looking at those yellow flags, what I would call the things to be cautious about that are not necessarily a red flag, but be mindful that you might need to have further conversations around certain subjects. But I started to wonder if you could go back to the original online profiles and glean some information to look for those signs from the get-go, some of those red flags or yellow flags. I will say, please feel free to take what works for you from what I'm about to say, throw out the rest. If you find that you notice things about your profile and what I'm going to talk about, I would highly encourage you to go and tweak your profile so that you come across as more genuine and attract people who are more like you. If you pretend to be somebody else, you're not going to attract the person that's right for you. And then the flip side, if you're dating and looking at these profiles, things to be mindful of. I will look down at my notes periodically, so thank you for your patience. You'll see me occasionally just to make sure that I stay on track because there's a lot to cover. I'm only going to cover 10 things today, so let's get started. Number one, 53 to 56% of online daters lie on their profile. 86% of online daters admit to minor embellishments. That would be making up interests, changing your income, changing your age. So this is not just touching up a photo. This is inherent characteristics that you're embellishing, which is interesting because the top things that people say they're looking for in a relationship is, number one, honesty and also commitment. So people are lying on their profiles, but then saying they want honesty. And I'm not saying everybody's lying, but a good percentage are saying that they are. So that's red flag number one, lying. Now, you can't always know who's lying, but you can look for some inconsistent information. For example, if they have a picture and it says they're 45 years old, and then they say in their profile, well, I'm really 56, but I put it lower for search purposes, either because they feel they look younger or they just want someone younger. Look for inconsistencies where in one part of the profile, they'll talk about living one place and then in another living someplace else, but they're both supposedly current. So you might not be able to tell everything, but kind of look for those inconsistencies. Number two, negativity. The people who write, no drama, I don't play games, I hate liars and cheaters, all caps. I wonder what they've gone through and have yet to get over, because for most of us in healthy relationships, we would assume no drama. We would assume that we're genuine and not playing games. And yes, nobody likes liars and cheaters. The fact that they're calling it out at the top of their profile makes me think they've got some things to work through. And maybe you don't want to get caught up in their drama. Number three, lack of effort. Poor spelling and grammar. Photo was taken in the bathroom with a mirror behind them. Very little information in general. I feel as if you're saying you want a long-term relationship, talk more about who you are and what you want. Because if you're not putting an effort into polishing that profile, how much effort are you going to actually put into the relationship itself? Overly glam, right? So it could be showing off, here I am in my yacht, in my boat, in my mansion, and with my sports car. Or here I am dressed in this seductive outfit or bathing suit. Look at me. I find this interesting because when I talk to people who say people are only interested in my money, people are only interested in me for my looks. Well, you might want to tone down what you're selling on your profile. Saying you're financially stable is fine. We don't need to see you on a yacht. My 2 cents. Number 5, detailed yet vague and saying a whole lot about nothing. Or the flip side, trying too hard and being poetic to say all the right things. Now I'm going to read this. This is not from someone's profile. I looked at many profiles. This is an amalgam that I've made up based on what I've been reading to give you an example of the detailed yet vague, saying a whole lot about nothing. I'm easygoing, friendly, fun, and adventurous. I love long walks on the beach and snuggling on the couch and watching a movie, but I'm okay with sports too. I really like everything. I'd like someone funny and kind who's outgoing, but it's okay if they're more the strong, silent type. I don't mind taking the time to get to know you. And I'm also told by my friends that I'm really sweet and patient. I'd like to find my soulmate, but I'm okay with making new friends and dating casually. So there's a lot of meandering that leaves you with a lack of clarity, like who is this person and what are they looking for? Or the poetic. I'm just a lone wolf who's ready to find my true soulmate. We'll take long walks on the beach holding hands, enjoy candlelight dinners by moonlight, and complete each other in every way. Could you be the one I'm looking for? No. The answer is no. Nothing wrong with that, except it's trying too hard. And I have not met that many men who truly love walking on the beach holding hands. Some do, but everybody says that. It's like, I need to throw this in. If you ever watched Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock, where they all say at the end, I want world peace. Like people throw in the candlelight dinners and the walks on the beach. They may very well like them. I love them, but it's almost like, check a box. And that's what I'm really talking about here. These two profiles are checking every box to make sure that they have as many options as possible. When in reality, if they just showed you who they truly were, it would narrow their options, but they're more likely to find someone who's like them. Now, number 6, I might get criticism for, but I would say overly religious or political. Now, I understand for many people, they want a partner who shares their beliefs, but if your lead-in is to tell people how peace-loving and kind you are, and then launch into 5 paragraphs about the state of the government, then you're talking about politics. You're not talking about what you're bringing in a relationship and what you want. So this friend could be a good ally and activist if you share their beliefs, but it doesn't seem like they're really focused on romance. It feels like they're focused on talking about what's important to them. So yes, you might share their religious and political beliefs, but beyond that, there's got to be other things about the relationship that they can share. Number 7, criticizing other men and women. They're like that, but I'm not. Or criticizing the entire dating experience and criticizing all the terrible people they dated before. If this kind of gets back to the negativity, are you going to do one thing that sets them off and suddenly you're another one of those that are part of their bad experience? Number 8, stereotyping men and women. Why do we do this? When the men write, I don't mind shopping. I know a girl's got to have her shoes. Or, I know that men are stubborn. Don't worry, I won't try to change you like other people will. Go on, have as many beers as you want. I don't think I'd like to be pigeonholed into any of these kinds of stereotypes, so I would avoid doing that to people in your profile. Number 9, here's another tricky one. It's one thing to admit that you're lonely and you're seeking true connection. I applaud that vulnerability to put yourself out there. But if your profile comes across as you're desperate to meet someone because you're completely miserable otherwise, your life is awful, and you need someone to come in and make everything right, you're looking for the Prince Charming, I would say you might want to work on personal development a little bit, because that's a lot of responsibility to put on someone else, to make them responsible for your happiness. So then it becomes you're sitting here waiting for this magical person to come in and make your otherwise terrible world right. I would do a little soul searching to find out what you can do on your own to make that environment and yourself ready to meet that ideal person. And number 10. This one is a little more about security. They want to meet too quickly and not waste time emailing or texting. In the best case scenario, it's someone who might be controlling and wants to push you to meet and not take the time to get to know you properly. And that's a red flag, because that person could be a little manipulative. And at the worst, it could be somebody trolling for information. It could be somebody who's going to be asking for financial information or personal information. And you really, from a security standpoint, be careful. I will tell you that in one mock account that I set up, I had no photo. I had a first name, I had my age, location, and a few interests. And within a few minutes, 10 men messaged to meet in a private chat room. I did not take them up on it. I am 99.9% sure that these were scammers, and these were going to be people who were going to develop that relationship, and there's going to be some requests for money. I can't say that for certain, but be very, very cautious. If somebody is like, I really hate these online things, can't we just get on the phone, or can't we just meet, or can't we just FaceTime? So if I could leave, I told you all the bad stuff. If I could leave with one takeaway, the ones that stood out to me were the profiles where somebody who was just genuine and stated quite simply who they were as a person and what they were looking for in the relationship and in a partner for the long term. So if you'd like to chat more about relationships and set up a call with me, my information is below. And I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for joining me.